It is a historic day in Washington where Supreme Court justices have heard arguments about removing former President Donald Trump from Colorado's primary ballot. Opponents say that Trump should be disqualified under the 14th Amendment for engaging in an insurrection. Trump's lawyers have said that the argument doesn't work because January 6th was not an insurrection and Trump did not participate. Our Marshall Zollinger is in Washington, D.C. today. Marshall, we don't have a ruling yet, but the arguments may give us a little bit of insight into how this could play out.
Yeah, of the 9 Supreme Court justices, a lot of them made argument questions about whether it was really an individual state's issue or something that Congress might need to consider in the future. Even the liberal justices made some of those questions and pointed questions and arguments toward the attorneys for the people trying to get Trump off the ballot in Colorado. Here at the Supreme Court, it was supposed to be an 80-minute hearing, which went, I think, by my count, 2 hours and 14 minutes, which shows that the justices had a lot of questions to ask, that in some of the cases, the attorneys were not answering those questions directly. And then there was a lot in the center about whether or not this is one state, Colorado's right to make a decision that would impact all other states.
Well, I suppose this court would be saying something along the lines of that a state has the power to do it. But I guess I was asking you to go a little bit further and saying, why should that be the right rule? Why should a single state have the ability to make this determination, not only for their own citizens, but for the rest of the nation?
And that was Justice Elena Kagan asking that question, and ultimately it seemed from several of the justices that there was concern that if they were to affirm this decision and allow Colorado to remove Trump from the ballot, that other states would follow suit, but then other states wouldn't do that, and that you would have this mishmash throughout the country of decisions being made despite the Supreme Court making a decision, and this fear factor that it would then be used as retribution, that other states would find reasons to say this person's disqualified for the same reason you disqualified former President Trump, Anusha. We don't know when this decision will be handed down, but we know that Colorado's primary is March 5th. Ballots start going out in a week and a half, and so it's got to move pretty quick for people to have some sort of resolution.
Yeah, well, we are paying very, very close attention, Marshall, and we appreciate all of your work throughout the morning and into the day. We'll check back in with you in just a bit. Former President Trump is currently at his estate in Mar-a-Lago, but he still fielded some questions today about the Supreme Court arguments. Trump told reporters that his speeches on January 6th were actually peaceful and did not incite an insurrection.
I didn't do that. I said peacefully and patriotically. The speech was called Peacefully and Patriotically. It's peacefully and patriotically. He said I said bad statement. It was the exact opposite. So I think you should take a look at the statements that I made before and after, and you'll see a whole different dialogue.
We're going to have much more on the discussion and the debate, including reactions from a Republican who brought the lawsuit. That's going to be coming up later today on 9 News. Taking a look at the snow falling just before 7:30 a.m. this morning, as that snow is now making its way towards the metro area. I want to give you a live look of that same area right now as the snow is kind of continuing throughout the day, just as we were expecting. Want to head right over to Keeley because we're expecting some of that weather to kind of move into the metro area sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's looking like tomorrow we will start to see some of those flakes falling in the metro area and surrounding areas across the plains. The stronger storm moves in on Saturday. So we have a couple storms headed our way. One, a weaker, more moderate to weak storm on Friday and a stronger one on Saturday. We'll talk about that in just a second. Let's take you outside right now where we've got actually some blue skies out over downtown Denver where we are sitting at 50 degrees. That is my forecast high for today. Those winds out of the west at 10 miles per hour. Taking a look at our live Doppler radar, and there you can see, again, we have a system off to our south and west that is circulating the moisture in the form of snow up there over the high country. We will start to see some of that move in again over the lower elevations starting, it's looking like tomorrow morning. We do still have some winter warnings and winter weather advisories to talk about up there in the north and the southern mountains where we could see additional 4 to 5 inches of snow. But again, we have that snow moving in overnight tonight, starting in the southwest and start to make its way in and around the metro area tomorrow morning. We do have some estimates on snow totals as well. Talk more about that coming up in your full forecast in just a bit.
New at noon, the motorcyclist who uploaded video of himself going more than 150 miles an hour in Colorado is now in custody in Texas. Renan Dietzman has been wanted on a warrant in Colorado for menacing and reckless endangerment. Online court records in Colorado say that he has been detained on that warrant. These are his mugshots from the Denton County Jail in Texas. Dietzman went viral after he uploaded video of himself on his motorcycle speeding between the Springs and Denver, bragging that he made that drive in 20 minutes. Colorado State Patrol investigators worked with police in Texas to file a criminal case against him. We're going to bring you more information about that story later today as well. Today, a man that investigators say played a central role in a shooting in Lodo that hurt 6 others is set to be sentenced. Jordan Waddy pleaded guilty to a single count of possession of a weapon by a previous offender. 4 other counts were dismissed because of a deal. This shooting happened in July of 2022 when Denver police were trying to break up a fight in the area, and an officer reported that Waddy had a gun. Investigators also said Waddy pointed a gun at officers when the officers opened fire. 6 people nearby were hurt and Waddy was shot as well. Last January, a grand jury had also returned a 14-count indictment against Brandon Ramos, one of the officers who fired. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 18 months probation. We are getting word from the airport right now that they are planning to temporarily shut down the trains to the concourse overnight. This is going to be for 6 days scattered over the next couple of weeks. This is so they can test out the electrical system for the trains. This is a part of a process to install new trains later this year. Those closures will be starting at 9:15 p.m., go through 3 a.m. on February 13th, 14th, the 20th, 21st, 27th, and 28th. The closures will impact anyone traveling in or out of the B and C concourses. Everyone is going to have to use bridge security during those times. DIA will also be busing people from the A concourse to B and C. The airport recommends getting there a half hour early on those days.